A striking moment in the Ukraine war, as Kyiv honors Elon Musk with one of its highest state awards, while simultaneously seeking greater access to his Starlink satellite network. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has awarded Musk the Order of Freedom under a presidential decree published on August 26th. The honor recognizes what Kyiv describes as Musk's contribution to protecting human life and freedom, as well as strengthening relations between Ukraine and the United States. But behind the award lies a much bigger strategic question: the future of Starlink on the battlefield. Starlink, operated by Musk's SpaceX, became a critical communications system for Ukraine shortly after Russia launched its full-scale invasion in 2022. With conventional communications infrastructure damaged or disrupted, Starlink provided Ukrainian forces with satellite connectivity. The network has since become deeply integrated into Ukraine's military operations, supporting battlefield communications and helping drone operators maintain links with unmanned systems. For Kyiv, that makes Starlink far more than a commercial internet service. It has become an important part of Ukraine's modern military infrastructure. And now Ukraine wants to take that capability further. Kyiv is seeking permission to use Starlink-enabled systems over Russian territory, particularly for longer-range drone operations. Ukraine believes expanded Starlink coverage could help its forces target Russian military infrastructure, including ballistic missile launchers that have been used to strike Ukrainian cities. According to Zelenskyy, Musk had previously opposed allowing Starlink to operate over Russian territory, viewing such a move as a potentially major escalation of the conflict. But the Ukrainian president says Kyiv has recently received more encouraging signals and is continuing to push for expanded access. The request is particularly significant because Ukrainian forces are increasingly relying on drones for long-range operations. A reliable satellite connection can allow drones to remain connected with their operators over greater distances and in environments where conventional communications can be vulnerable to electronic warfare. That is why control over Starlink has become an increasingly important factor in Ukraine's military strategy. The relationship between Musk and Kyiv, however, has not always been straightforward. Musk has previously faced criticism in Ukraine over restrictions on Starlink during military operations. At the same time, SpaceX has taken steps to prevent Russian forces from using unauthorized Starlink terminals. Earlier this year, Musk agreed to disable thousands of so-called grey market Starlink terminals being used by Russian forces in occupied Ukrainian territory. That move reportedly disrupted Russian military communications and highlighted just how much influence a private technology company can have on the battlefield. The issue has also become entangled in Ukrainian politics. Former Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov had been a key Ukrainian interlocutor with Musk, particularly on Starlink-related issues. Fedorov was dismissed in July, amid wider political and government changes. The Starlink dispute also contributed to tensions involving Kyiv and Washington after disagreements over whether Ukraine had authorization to use the satellite network for operations inside Russia. For Ukraine, the stakes are clear. Starlink has become a vital communications tool, one that supports troops, battlefield coordination, and drone operations. Expanding its coverage could potentially give Ukrainian forces greater reach against Russian military targets. But for Musk and SpaceX, allowing Starlink to operate deeper inside Russia carries a very different calculation. It could directly affect military operations on Russian territory and potentially increase the risk of escalation. That makes Musk's position strategically important for both sides. And that is what makes Ukraine's decision to honor him especially significant. Kyiv is recognizing Musk's contribution to Ukraine's defense, while simultaneously trying to persuade him to expand the very capability that has become central to the dispute. The Order of Freedom therefore comes at a delicate moment in the relationship between Ukraine and the world's most influential private satellite operator. For Kyiv, continued access to Starlink remains crucial. For Musk, decisions over where the network can operate have consequences far beyond technology and business. They can influence battlefield communications, drone warfare, and the broader dynamics of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And as Ukraine seeks to take the war deeper into Russian territory, the question now is whether Elon Musk will allow Starlink to follow. Ukraine's request for expanded Starlink access remains a key issue as the war enters another phase of long-range drone operations. The award to Musk underlines the importance Kyiv places on his technology and on his continued cooperation.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.